The latest edition of the Village Breeze is 60 years in the making. It's available now, and in its celebration of its 60th anniversary, we welcome Media and Communications Associate Susan Logan McCracken.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Bree. Thank you.
Wow, so much to celebrate, so much to talk about.
Yes.
What a great issue.
Yes.
Tell us about this retro cover.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, since we've been doing the Village Breeze as a magazine like this, we haven't done a black and white cover, but we definitely wanted to do something different, something retro. And on the cover is Clubhouse 1.
Yes.
With empty rolling hills all around it, and you can see the classic cars. So we got this black and white image in, and we got a lot of black and white photos in, which is something very different for the Village Breeze.
Now, did you have to go to the History Center to get these images?
The History Center was great in providing a lot of the images that you see inside, and on the cover and throughout the magazine. And also the Moulton Museum provided images for the story on the Moultons.
And they were a family that...
Yes, they were...
They were on this property.
Yes, they were. This property was a working cattle ranch, and they built their house on the site of what is the Laguna Hills Mall today.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
And so we have photos in there of all of this.
So what was it like to go back 60 years of history?
Well, with the Moulton Museum and even with the history of Laguna Woods Village, I felt like it was looking into someone's family photo album, especially with all those old images that they provided, and then to get a history of their family, and then of Ross Cortese and his vision for the village, and there's a photo of him in there too. And the story behind every single clubhouse. Village television is part of the history from the very beginning. So it was just amazing, and it was inspiring, and
a lot of forward thinking back in the 60s
when
this was all developed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, this to me becomes almost a collector's item, right? Because, I mean, this issue.
I hope so.
Because
yes.
It really does tell the story. And there's not a lot of communities or cities where you see something like this, where you're able to watch the growth and expansion and document it.
Yes.
I think it's just fabulous.
Yes, and I think thanks to the History Center and this community has been historically conscious, you could say. They have preserved their history of the community and the village and the city.
Right, wow. So you share a lot of features in the article. What can you tell us about department leaders or general services, broadband services?
Yes, so it's amazing. General services encompasses so many different things, and it's so varied for a department, and it keeps the village running. From broadband services and internet services with the cable system and the internet system. And by the way, Paul Ortiz, there's a retro photo of him in there when he was in Little League. And it's
I bet it's adorable.
It is, and it was only 6 years before he began working for the village. So We tried to sneak as many retro things in the magazine as we could.
How'd you get your hands on that one?
I found it. I found it in, I'm not sure where it originally came from, but
that's fun.
I found it. And then, from custodial to transportation, so literally having things running.
It's just amazing. And there's not a lot of community efforts in other communities. Again, I keep comparing, but I'm just astounded by how this village, it's almost like everybody's looking after everybody and creating just this sense of community throughout.
Yes.
And I just love that. I love that sense of belonging.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And the community was built and designed with that in mind, from the clubhouses and the creation of clubs, which have always been part of the village.
Yeah.
It was surprising to see what was an original part of the village, the garden center.
The garden center, yeah. Tell us about that. There's a couple of garden clubs, right?
Yes, there are. And the Garden Center Club and the Garden Club. The Garden Center Club about gardening at the garden center, but the Garden Club is about all in and around your manor, and it's more personal and at home.
And so people can go there and use their little plot and plant whatever they want. Is that how that works?
Flowers and vegetables, and this article that we have in this issue goes into the history of that and differentiates the two clubs, because we have two garden clubs. One's the Garden Center and one is the Garden Club.
Okay. Wow. So give us some tips. TVs are so unbelievably complicated these days. So what are some tips that people can explore for smart TVs, streaming content, maximizing the viewing experience? That's all included in here as well.
Yes, and we have Debbie Dotson, who wrote the Go Upstream from Here article. And she offers tips on, first of all, how to tell if your TV is a smart TV.
Oh, okay, so that's a good place to start.
Yes, yes, exactly. She talks about some of the devices that you can use to help with that, as well as what to look for. She talks about some of the technology and where to go for help. And help is readily available from village clubs who deal with that, to the place where you got your smart TV.
Okay, and I'm assuming that in the article, I'm going to read it myself because I need I need to be updated on how TVs work these days. But they can change those out relatively easy if their TV is not a smart TV, right? To stream those services. Yes,
and also there are devices that you can include with your smart TV that are very affordable.
Like an Apple TV, like a separate unit.
Or
Apple TV.
yes, that you can plug in.
That way everybody can watch us all the time.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Wow. Well, again, cheers to 60 years. What a year it was. Or live the milestones of 1964.
Yes.
It's just, I can't wait to dive into this article. So you can find the Village Breeze at several clubhouses around. Yes,
all the clubhouses, the community center, concierge, equestrian center, garden center, golf pro shop, tennis clubhouse, village library.
That's great. And then for feedback and content ideas, those are also very welcome.
Yes.
Right? And they can email you at?
Susan.logan-mcracken@vmsinc.org.
Well, Susan, the 60th anniversary celebration of Laguna Woods Village What an accomplishment.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Bree.
joining us.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. The California Club is already looking forward to very special holiday concert performances. More on that when we return.